real quick. So what they're talking about in the chat is they're referring to Coach Hayes talking about he heard a little birdie that DJ Lagway would flip to Clemson. Now, I was starting to sweat a little bit a few weeks before we had our massive recruiting class when they went and got one of our wide receiver targets. I don't remember his name now because he's dead to me. And they landed Sammy Brown. They had their weekend, right? They had their Jubilee weekend, which doesn't even compare to what we had. But at the time, it was a massive 2 to 3 day stretch. And I was sitting there going, shit, they're going after doing what Florida should be doing and putting together a team, and they need a quarterback. And Lagway was a target of theirs. Could this happen? Now, I feel a lot more confident now with what Billy's been able to do. But I think apparently, so what happened was Coach Hayes said on his show that a little birdie, I don't know if that birdie, is sick or not, but said that he could possibly be flipping to Clemson. So I'm going to ask you two, what's your thoughts on this little birdie here? I'll go to Allie, I'll go to you first, and then Dave will pass it over to you.
You go, Allie. You go ahead.
I honestly don't think that there's any chance that happens. Obviously, I can be wrong, but from what I've been told, not only is Lagway really all in, his family is very much all in. His family and Napier have a really good rapport, have built a really good relationship. And DJ has been out there recruiting for Florida nonstop. And so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to publicly recruit for Florida and then leave all those guys that you got to come here and jump ship and go elsewhere. But I think that there's always going to be negative recruiting that happens. That's probably Clemson probably planted that seed somewhere along the line. They want that to be the word on the street,
They want the noise. They want the TMZ headlines.
Yep. Of course. And, for Napier, the negative recruiting is going to be, well, they didn't win last year. So if they don't win this year, he won't be there when you are actually, legitimately playing. And I think that what Napier has told this class is, look, we're not going to have a great season this year. We're building. And we want you to be a part of that. You can come in and have an immediate impact if you work hard. There's good opportunities for on the field play. And this is a total rebuild. And I think that the administration knows that it's a rebuild. I think that they're giving Billy a much longer leash than probably fans will give Napier. So I think that little birdie is not correct.
I love it. Dave?
Yeah, I love Coach Hayes to death. I've been on his show a couple times. I know he's a Miami guy, but he does do a lot of good coverage on high school kids, and I appreciate what he's done for us. I've known Coach Hayes for a while, but I'm pretty sure that what he was doing was just try to rile Florida fans up because, like Ali said, I mean, other elites want to play with other elites. If your class is full of elites, it's very hard to leave that class, especially when you're the leading quarterback and you're trying to recruit for your said school. He's not going to go through all this trouble and all his energy just to recruit for everybody and then just flip somewhere else. But, I mean, it is recruiting. Anything can happen. But at the same time, I just don't see Lagway going anywhere. I mean, that's a smoke show, if you were to ask me right now.
And we were talking about this precast a little bit. I'm getting kind of ahead of topics here. But you talked about Billy lacking in his ability to recruit the parents, right, and not vetting the parents enough. And then you mentioned, Lagway's parents, I think he's done a great job with vetting those parents and getting them bought in because we've saw with the Simmons situation, which is Allie's thoughts, guys. This is not mine. With the Rashada situation and the Simmons situations, that we may have dropped the ball. This is what she was referencing in the beginning on vetting the parents, where, like you just mentioned now, that Lagway, it doesn't feel the same way. So not only is Lagway bought in, but the parents are bought in. And I know they're bought in because they're interactive with our Twitter. And I'm not saying that like we're connected, but anytime I tweet, they retweet our stuff. He's mentioned before, like, hey, he loves the content. He loves our excitement. Does that mean anything? Not always, but it's more than what we have from most recruits. And that's something to kind of keep an eye on. So, look, Coach Hayes is kind of doing his job, right? Playing in the middle. And if he's hearing something, like you said, why wouldn't you plant that seed? Why wouldn't you want to get that into Notion and possibly get back to Lagway? It's like, well, maybe think about it. So it's just part of the game.
Coach Hayes had a dream one night and thought he heard something. So
it is what it is.
Well, and I mean, to be fair to Coach Hayes, somebody could have told him that he believes, and that's the person that's wrong. It doesn't have to be that Coach Hayes pulled this out of nowhere.
It's the birdie's fault. Matt Hayes is just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger, boys.